Joseph Clough, born in Jamaica, 1887. When his Scottish employer moved to Britain in 1906, Joe agreed to go with him and live and work in London. Joe started by driving a pair of horses but soon learned to drive motor vehicles, working as Dr. White's chauffeur. In 1910, Joseph joined the London General Omnibus Company and became Britain's first black bus driver. As part of a larger effort to address workforce shortages after World War II, London Transport began recruiting bus drivers from the Caribbean in 1956, and the recruitment continued until 1970. Alongside their white, British and Asian counterparts, they helped keep Britain's transport system moving. But one driver's taken the legacy one step further by giving the public a true insight into not only the roots, but also the culture of bus driving. You know, the Windrush generation played a major role in keeping the London transport system moving. And even to this day, drivers from the Caribbean make up a big proportion of the London bus drivers. And alongside white British and drivers from all over the world, they play an integral role in keeping London moving, providing a vital service to help the public get to and from work, visit family and friends and shopping. But my older brother's decided to take the legacy a bit further, and he started his own YouTube channel where he's giving the public an inside view of what it is to be a bus driver, what they have to go through on a daily basis, and changing the perception of the profession itself, because it can be quite negative depending on who you speak to. And from what I can see, he's making quite an impact. So it'd be interesting now for me to go and speak to him, get to find out his background before he became a bus driver, what led him to the profession, and what inspired him to start his channel. Before I go and visit my brother, what does the public think about bus drivers?
Bus drivers must have a lot of patience. I just remember being in school, like hopping on buses, and bus drivers, they either care or they didn't care, but either way, they're like a pillar of the community. They're like a pillar of your like school experience, even your adult experience. But you like they see a lot of characters, and I just feel like they must have a lot of patience.
Say take for instance, without the bus driver we can't go anywhere much, right? But to walk is a long distance. Sometimes where we're going, you know. So they are very prevalent for us. And some of them is very gentle, you know what I mean? They are patient. And take for instance, like now, we're going to the hospital. First time we pay, we have a bus pass, we do it and we're gone. But now they make us strict that we cannot go until 9 o'clock. Yeah, but sometimes some of us, we are looking tough, you know what I mean? So they are very good and we cannot do without them.
Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them will stop and help the elderly, some will stop for other people, especially when it comes to women with babies, etc. They'll stop and they'll help. Some of them are just feisty and they will see you coming from afar and they just drive off left you.
It's Curtis, man. Cool.
man.
Yes, my brother. You all right?
Fine, man. Good.
You went to the bar?
Yeah, I'm working on 47 today, 3 o'clock start, late duty. Actually finish about 9, so it's quite a good time. And I like those duties because you can do things when you finish work and you've got a flexible time to get up. You know, don't have to get up early, which is great. Basically, my background is, my parents is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which is in the Caribbean, between North America and South America, to be precise, near Barbados. My dad came here first, in 1960, I think it was, and mum came after. They got married, and they had me not too long after. I was one of 3 at the time. There was 2 siblings in the Caribbean. I did finally go to the Caribbean with my parents, or with my mum actually, when I was 2.5. Came back when I was 6 and went to school in Croydon first, Kingsley Primary School in Croydon, West Croydon. And then we moved to New Addington, which is quite far off, part of Croydon, but on the outskirts. Went to school called Castle Hill Primary School and then junior school. When I left there, I went to Overbury School, which is not there anymore, and went to a second part of secondary. It was 2 stages, 3 years in Overbury, 2 years in John Newman, which is in Selsdon, which is now John Ruskin College. So while I was in Overbury, so I was left there at 14, I think around about that time, we used to go to the library a lot. My parents always, one of the things they did with us is that once we moved to that area, they made all of us join the library. So my brothers, we all avid readers. So I started at 14 to look at books and careers. So at that 14, I was focusing on what I want to do. And so I thought anything technical, electrical, anything with my hands, I just was into electrical stuff. I used to play around with stuff in my bedroom. You know, I used to have like a radar that picked up the aircrafts. And so I remember, instead of, you could plug it in to give it power, I plugged it into the light socket and it blew the fuse in the house. So I'm always dabbling with stuff, you know. So I was interested in that kind of thing, electronics and that. And so that made me steer towards electrical, and I ended up being a PSV electrician, but I had to do the apprenticeship. So I did an apprenticeship, so did that for 4 years, the apprenticeship. That was with London Transport, which was a government company then. And I went on, when I was qualified, after doing the training in Acton and at the bus garages, I was qualified at 20, I was 20 years old when I was qualified, 16 to 20. The job entailed maintaining all the electrical parts of the bus and fixing any faults that occurred on the road or off the road. And so we would normally come in at work and we would get jobs given to do. Could be like changing headlights, wiper motors, doing gear systems. These buses were sophisticated from that point on. Even the Routemasters had gear systems that was electrical. You know, gears came in electrically. Gear selector was electric. We had to do all of those. It was more sophisticated than cars at the time. So I was fully qualified in that. My apprenticeship gave me the right to work anywhere in the world. I had a logbook with me, City and Guilds, which was one of the oldest apprentice training schemes in the country. One of the oldest, went right back to the 1400s. My parents even had to come to my workplace to sign deed of covenant. You know, that's how serious they took apprenticeship those days, because deed of covenant goes back to the time when apprentice would live with the master. So the parents would take their apprentice, their sons, sons, it'd be mainly sons, take them to the master. So you see, he was a stone cutter or mason, and that boy would have to live with that master for 15 years for a mason. So that deed of covenant I signed, it went right back to that time. That apprenticeship was the best thing, one of the best experiences in my life. Up to now, I still look back at that apprenticeship, one of the best things. My dad used to say to me, you know, you have to work hard. You have to work hard, like extra hard. So I think I took that on board, my dad telling me to work hard. So when I was doing my apprenticeship, I used to do double the amount of revision. I do my college work, I just used to get into it. And what happened then, what I didn't realise, I was putting in so much hard work that I didn't realise how good I was becoming.
Lenny went on to win awards including Best Student at Paddington College, and later won the most prestigious award.
The college entered me into a national award, and this national award was for competing with other apprentices, it has to be auto electrical apprentices in the whole of England. And there was only 6 boys put forward for this. So a month or so went on, and all I remember is the same head of motor vehicle came up to me, he goes, oh, but by the way, you won. And I said, what? I said, I won, yeah, you are been crowned, I'm not going to use that word, the best auto electrician in the whole of England. Apprentice, you've been nominated. Oh, no, you've won it. And you've been invited to Eccleston Hotel, where you'll be sitting with head of police, head of fire brigade, all these head people, and somebody from my job. So the guy that trained me, Colin Bond, God rest his soul, he came along with me, and I had to get myself a suit and everything, and I was there having dinner with these people, and then they gave me these awards, and they gave me money, like vouchers, all sorts of things, basically recognised. I know I normally cook for work, and I normally cook for myself. So I'm just doing some chicken in an air fryer, just some breast pieces. Gonna do it for about 15 minutes. It's a quick blast on the air fryer. That with wedges, potato wedges, sweet potato wedges actually. So, and this one, wedges, I'll just the time of air fryer, whoops, air fryer, and then this one, air fryer.
Lenny worked for 15 years at the bus garage as an auto electrician. He eventually left to pursue other careers including youth work and filmmaking. After government cuts to youth services, he lost his job in youth work and found himself unemployed.
I was doing just my video work then on my own, doing some video work, but it wasn't bringing in enough money. And someone said to me, why don't you try and be a bus driver? But I didn't want to think of doing that at first, and the reason being I didn't want to do that is because when I was an engineer, the bus drivers were always causing problems. You know what I mean? They would break the bus literally, pull out wires, and then try to get off work. Bus drivers I wouldn't say that's a stereotype, but bus drivers tend to don't want to do the work. At the time, that's what it was like. So for me, wanting to be somebody said to me, be a bus driver, I wasn't. And plus, I had a bit of a pride thing with it because I was an engineer. I trained apprentice for 4 years, and I saw bus driving as an unskilled job. So a bit of a pride thing there. And so I didn't really want to apply. So I did in the end, and yeah. So that's how it came about. But it was a bit of a push for me to do it.
Now that you're a bus driver, you're on the other side of the coin, as you could say. On the whole, the public have got a bad perception of bus drivers. What would you say about that?
Yeah, I think, when you talk about the public and bus drivers, I think generally the public has got a bad perception, and the way I think about it is that some of it, the perception is true for some drivers, But it can it's become like a stereotype, you know, because I think everyone, if you was to ask a lot of passengers, they'll have some bad experience with a bus driver. And I think even though there's people out there that would say, nah, bus drivers, there's some good ones.
They're good, because I mean, without them, you know, and they're so you know, some of them are very kind, and you know, they will stop for you. Some will, you know, yeah, they are very kind. Some of them is compassionate.
But there's always something they're gonna find to say what happened to them. Could be the bus driver was rude. There's always something they will say that's happened to them. It could be a car driver that the bus pulled out on them, because we pull out every minute, we're pulling out. Sometimes you could pull out 100 times and everything was good, and 101 time you could just pull out without really thinking, and then you almost miss a car or a bicycle. It happens. So we end up getting a bad reputation. Whether it's true or not, it is partly true, but not every driver can fall into that category.
Some of them are really good bus drivers, are really good. Some of them, you know, when you're running for the bus, and they will stop. Some of them, they can see you running, and then, you get to the door, and they won't open the door for you.
As a result of knowing passengers have a certain view about bus drivers, I decided to start a channel. Then the channel is called That Bus Driver Guy.
Yeah, my engine's off, so no worries. You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody head stain from the people who deceive me.
And that channel just shows what it is like to be a bus driver. It just covers, it's just a natural way of filming it. I said, this is it, I'm a bus driver. And I talk a lot of things, what we have to do, what we have to go through. And it's really designed in a way to give them a better understanding, you know. So some of it is organic, it just comes naturally, and some of it I plan and say, okay, I might try and show the passengers what it's like. For example, why we say the bus has to be waiting.
Yeah, do you ever wonder why buses always stop at bus stops and wait? And you normally get this announcement that the the driver's been instructed to hold back here so that the service can be evened out. That's roughly the message. And now there's an apology to say to the passengers, I hope it doesn't cause any inconvenience.
The channel is actually doing a lot more than I thought it would do. I'm actually shocked sometimes because people recognizing me in the public. So I'm driving a 47 down Tooley Street. So this guy is on the right junction. He wants to come out in a van. So I kind of let him out because the traffic wasn't going anywhere anyway. I let him out. So he's come across, so imagine he's come across. So now I'm looking at him, he's kind of checking the road, make sure he can go out. He's kind of looking, staring. He's like he hasn't moved fully into the way he needs to go. He's looking through from where he was sitting, but I think he's looking at me. So he kind of had his window down. He shouts out, "Are you that bus driver guy?" You know, and I was like totally shocked. He went into the traffic queue, but he went across into another road on the other side. He stopped his vehicle, and because I wasn't moving, I was in the queue. He came out of his vehicle and came up to the bus. I had to open the door for him. He come up, I had to open the cab and shake his hand. He was like, just happy to see me. I was like a celebrity. I mean, I'm not looking for fame or nothing like that, but that was a shock. There's young boys I discovered. There's young boys that like my channel, which when I first decided to do it, didn't have no idea that young boys would even watch it. So I had this, on the 47 again, this woman, she was in her car next to me, and she wound her window down, she electric window, and she shouts out, "Are you that bus driver guy?" I said, yeah. She goes, "My son watches you. My son watches you." I said, "Does he?" I said, "Where is he?" He's at the back, he's at the back of the car. So when I looked, see this little boy, the boy he looked like he was about 8 years old. I was totally shocked. The boy was waving at me. He was happy. She told me he's been watching me for a long time, and I've seen her at least 2 or 3 times. She even asked me to take her son for a ride. I said obviously she would come with him. We were trying to arrange. It hasn't happened yet, but he's that keen on coming on a ride with me. So sometimes when I finish my duty in Lewisham, I'm walking. Sometimes I walk back to the garage, or sorry, I'll get a bus back to the garage. There's a part of Lewisham near the police station where I bumped into this young man. He same thing. Are you the bus? I think he knew straight away. He didn't even ask me. He knew I was the bus driver guy, and he's there talking to me. He goes, he's been watching me. He's from East London. He happened to be in Lewisham.
So this is Omar. He watches my videos. Yeah, I was happy to meet you, you know, because you came up to me and I was thinking, I wasn't too sure what you were saying, and I realised, yeah. So what do you like about my videos?
Honestly, it's a lot of excitement, and you get to see the real view of a London bus driver. And I always wanted to drive a bus one day and like play bus games. So it's always been fascinating for me.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, what's more? Yeah, so I'm absolutely glad to meet you, and I'm happy that you inspired by my videos.
When it comes to bus drivers now, new bus drivers, I'm getting it almost every week now. New bus drivers coming into my garage at Catford telling me that they're here because they watch my channel, or they've been influenced by my channel. I've had people say that they've, one guy said his uncle was a bus driver, but when he started seeing my channel, that's what influenced him to become a bus driver. You know, I've had women, one woman said that same things. I just literally was going to get my bus and she said, "Did you know that you're the reason I'm here?" I said, "What? Yeah, you sure?" He said, "Yeah, you're the reason I'm here." She said she wanted to be a bus driver, but she kind of changed her mind, and she had a friend that was a bus driver, another woman from another company, who said to her, "What you need to do is look at this channel. It's called That Bus Driver Guy." This woman told her to look at my channel, and after she finished watching the channel or some of the videos, she made up her mind to be a bus driver. A lot of them say they watch my channel before they come, and it's helped them. It's even taught them stuff. The channel teaches people stuff, because indirectly or directly, it teaches people stuff. I've had people from another company go ahead, so that I think in their training, I think they pulled up one of my videos. You get what I'm saying? You know, I'm not boasting, but it's just the fact that I'm making an impact.
Way beyond that.
Way past I would imagine. Way past. And that's only just a few of the stories.
You come off for 2136?
No, I've been off in it. I had a kid in it.
You had a kid?
Yeah.
I didn't see your stomach.
No.
Yeah, my videos, some of the videos I do, some of them is serious and some of them is funny. One of the funny ones I got a lot of views is when I was actually given a job and I had to go and get my bus. My bus was inside the actual garage building, and I remember going upstairs, and as soon as I got upstairs, I sort of automatically looked at the back seat, and there's a fox just lying there.
Back foot. Fox on the bus, man. Come off the bus. Fox on the bus. Come on, Foxy. Get off the bus. I don't like these foxes. I don't trust them.
And I was like shocked. I was kind of wasn't fully scared, but still apprehensive, because I'm thinking, I don't want a fox to get scared and jump, even touch me, or what I'm thinking about is rabies and them kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So I remember, I came back downstairs actually, and I made a call the controllers. Well, not the controllers, they're like the allocated part of the garage supervisors.
Hello, it's Leonard. I'm actually in Bay 2. I've got a fox on my bus, sir. I'm not about to get him off, so someone has to come and do that for me.
And so one of the guys that does, I think he does like allocates the buses in the yard. He came with he had like a stick. I think it was almost like a thing purpose built for getting foxes off, you know.
Yeah, he's gone. Oh, man. Caught him going out. Fox hunter.
A lot of people got a lot of fun from that video. They got a lot of laughter from that video.
Lenny was involved in an incident on London Bridge. It was first dealt with as an attempted terror attack.
The first video I did, it was the first video actually, it was quite serious because it was an incident. Basically I was on London Bridge on the bus stop, the first bus stop, and a guy in a van, literally, he jumped out the van and he jumped onto the bridge, and I was in total shock, didn't know what he was going to do, and he actually ended up in the Thames. But the van that he jumped out of, the handbrake was off, and I rolled back and smashed into my bus. But at the time I didn't know that he came out of the van, I didn't see it. So I thought it was weird, he just threw me. I just thought straight away, this seemed like some terrorist thing, or I don't want to take chances, well, I don't know what's in that van. So I did a code red, got the people off the bus, and it ended up that the police did come, loads of police came, and they was actually chasing the guy. I found out later, you know, he stole the van, they didn't know what he was going to do, they thought he might have been a terrorist. I ended up being questioned under caution because they had to make sure that I wasn't part of it. I was kind of shocked, thinking, well, I'm just calling you to get help, you know, and then asking me questions about did I know the guy, you know, what he looked like. Obviously what he looked like, they had to ask me that, but they asked me did I know the guy. I'm thinking they'll call my garage to find out whether a bus was missing, or they literally was thinking I stole a bus, I was part of it, or they was you know, how you want to look at it. To me, it was kind of shocking. At that time I was in shock. They didn't even ask me how I was. You know, they even asked me to reverse the bus too, and I was so shaky that I almost didn't brake when the bus went back. It's like I wasn't, it was crazy. Yeah, so in the end, I think the guy, I don't know what the guy was doing. I think he might have been trying to commit suicide or something. It wasn't linked to terror, but they had to sort of eliminate that. And that's why they questioned me like that. When I thought about it, how I was treated and all that, some people would brush it off and say, nah, they have to do that. But it just seemed a bit weird. Yeah, it was a shock to me, shock to my system.
I don't think I've had any negative ones. I've had some before where I've tried to tap my card and I didn't have enough to get home, and then I've like gotten off of the bus in embarrassment, and then the bus driver's gestured like, come on, you can get on. But obviously I won't say which bus it is because I don't want to get them in trouble, but I think that's really nice to, like, I always think bus drivers are very friendly. Like, I like to say hello to them. They do a good service for the community. And I personally have never had any negative bus experiences.
He says, yo man, hope you're doing well. Been watching your videos past couple months and inspired me to be a bus driver. Passed my test and about to be in service on the 197. Your positive content changes lives for the better, man. I'm only 21 and the thought of being a bus driver only came to my fruition because of how you portrayed the job. Thank you. A stranger told me there's something to learn from everybody. You just got to look hard enough. But talking to them make it easier. Stuck with me, and now I feel I've grown to make a positive influence. Even in the bus driving job, I try my best to adhere to the principles I read and I'm taught about. That's why I feel in a way I'm quite drawn to your content naturally, because behind every video you post there's something different to learn. But yeah, you are the most definitely an amazing influence to people across the entire world. Who making me get emotional, man. That's normal. Yeah, it says like, yeah, you are the most definitely an amazing influence to people across the entire world who watch your content. That's what he left me with.